And Mona in the house before we even say action up in here. Welcome everyone to the very first episode of Akashic Answers with Emily for 2024. This is a live broadcast, by the way. We had a little oopsie in the Academy house this morning and we said this was a rebroadcast. No way. We get to hang out in person and live here together. Welcome, everyone. Please say hello to me once you get here. Let me know where you are tuning in from. And if this is the first time you're here, let me introduce myself to you. My name is Emily Harrison. I'm the founder director here inside the Akashic Academy. I work with visionaries and thought leaders, training them to access superconscious intelligence so that they can solve problems with innovation and become masters in their field. How many of you are familiar with the Akashic Records? Come on now. I'm sure that we have some of you who have not only scratched the surface of the Akashic Records, but we probably have a lot of practitioners and readers of the Akashic Records in this sacred classroom here today. And I'm guessing we also have some of you who are newer. You are following intuition that is leading you into this space right now to learn more about your Akashic Records. So let me bring everybody up to speed on what the Akashic Records are and what you can expect hanging out here with me today. So the Akashic Records are the realm of consciousness that hold every detail of your past, your present, and all potential futures, recorded from a neutral perspective, which means unconditional love and zero judgment. A lot of people think of neutral as, take it or leave it. No, I'm talking about a quantum look at neutrality. And when we can really hold that energy of neutrality, we have the ability to create in our lives very quickly, to uncreate things that we have established in our lives that are not working for us. What kind of things are those? Things like your job, your relationships, your relationship with money, things in your life that feel really challenging. You have created those. You have created those out of your trauma, subconscious trauma that you're not recognizing. And the Akashic Records help us to understand and recognize what is at play in our energy field so that we can shift it and heal it. And we can hold a frequency of true neutrality. Neutrality is how God sees us, through the eyes of unconditional love and zero judgment. And as you learn how to read your Akashic Records, you begin to vibrate to a frequency of unconditional love and zero judgment 24/7, which is another reason that your life becomes very malleable. It's easy to shift and change and step into what you want to create for yourself when you're vibrating to that frequency of neutrality. And truly, it's a really high vibrational frequency, this frequency of unconditional love and zero judgment. All right? I'm not going to necessarily teach you how to read your Akashic Records today. That is my zone of genius. I feel like what you're going to experience today is me channeling from the Akashic Records for you. I'm going to give you my interpretation on the intelligence, the answers to your questions, by the way. I'm taking your questions into the record. So start blowing up my chat box with your questions. I'm going to ask Spirit to bring my awareness to a question that would help as many people as possible in the container here today, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And then I will channel in intelligence from your Akashic Records that will give extra areas of insight, things you may have not considered. These are only invitations of thoughts to consider. By the way, the Akashic Records don't tell you what to do. They just invite you to consider so that you can make your own decisions. Okay, free will. And no, this is not a replay. I know, Doggett, Chris Doggett, my friend. We confused everybody a little bit. We had a little hiccup in the back office this morning. Today is not a replay. It's very, very live, at least right now in these moments. Perhaps you are watching on the replay as we fast forward in time. All right, let me not derail too much. Let's get back to my own personal area of genius and expertise is teaching you how to read your Akashic Records. Because yeah, I'm going to share with you how they work, how they can shift your life and bring insight into your life today. But again, this is my interpretation. When we're talking about your soul records, isn't it better if the interpretation comes through you? Furthermore, all of us have the ability to tap in and read our own Akashic records. So, the purpose of today is to give you a taste of the kind of intelligence, the kind of insight that drops in from the Akashic records for you to feel how valuable it is. And then I also want to really encourage you to act on what drops in for you here today. Even if I don't answer your question specifically on the air, I want you to know that your records will answer that question for you, either in a conversation that you're having with somebody else, a thought, an aha moment that comes into your mind, a dream. That is the promise of the space of the Akashic records, is that if we ask, the intelligence becomes available for us. Oh, that's weird. When the visual aspect of whatever the technology is that I'm using picks up on my gestures and then mirrors them back to me on my screen, like what just happened on Instagram, it trips me up a little bit. All of a sudden I saw these big thumbs up coming in. Okay, let me just see what else I want to share with you all about the Akashic Records. Start asking the questions. Think about if you had access to understand how to do anything on the planet, anything to shift your life. You could understand how to dream more dynamically. If some of you want to increase your dream time. I know we have a lot of artists in this space, meaning creative people who are here to leave legacy on the planet. Maybe you have a project that you're working on or an aspect of your life that needs a higher level of creative genius, and you want to know how to tap into that. All right, so start firing up my chat box here with questions. I am going to ask Spirit to draw my attention to a question that's going to serve all of us. And then I'm going to channel in the intelligence. Now, the channeling that comes through will contain a transmission, a vibrational frequency that will be unique to each one of you. It will work on your energy field uniquely. Wherever you need the movement and shift, if you allow it, you have free will to say, yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just a fly on the wall today. I'm not going to do a lot of my healing today, and then I'm just going to watch. I'm going to encourage you to get in there. I personally have been really deep in my own healing over this past month. There's that thumbs up again. Let me just keep my hands down. I have to sit on my hands for this episode. Over the past month, I have been leaning very deep into my own personal trauma. I've had quite a bit over the course of this last year with my kids and just some really, really intense circumstances. And then also in my personal life and personal relationship. So as we've gone into this winter season, which is a great time to go inward, I have felt the need and the readiness to address some of these issues. And so I have been just sitting deep and pulling up deep trauma, witnessing it, letting it move through. Y'all, I cried my eyes out last night. If some of you are like, she might look a little hungover, a little something. Yeah, my eyes are super puffy last night because I did have just hours of a really, really good cry. And while it was challenging to be in that energy, it was also very beautiful. And I felt and knew with the support of my records how important this time was to move stuck energy that I have been stuffing and not present to, because I just felt like I needed to keep moving like a lot of us humans do, right? So I've been doing the work very deeply, and I feel my vessel, my channel is in a space to support you all doing that too. Since it's just a natural transmission of, hey, let's get in there and all do the work together. All right, so I'm going to start taking some questions now. All right, Chandra, I'm so excited that you purchased the beginner program a few months ago, but haven't jumped in yet. What might be standing in the way? All right, Chandra, I'm going to tap in for you and see. What I'm hearing is it's a timing thing. you want to trust timing. And when things don't feel right and they just don't seem to align, sometimes we need to relax and surrender a little bit. Chandra, what I'm getting is that what you've experienced in the time that from when you purchased the course to now is a situation that you will want to use the training aligned with this situation that has currently come up for you. All right. Here's another way to say this. There's something really unique and interesting about this Akashic Record training program, the Learn to Read Your Records training program that Chandra's talking about here. And what happens is that as you start the training, there are 17 modules in the training. And as you start the training, you're going to be learning different things about your Akashic Records and ways to use your Akashic Records, asking about your own records and traumas, and sometimes where limiting beliefs came from around money, around jobs, around relationships, around God. And what happens is the course aligns itself with your life in a way that allows you to work through real-time issues with that support of the Akashic Records in a way that it'll blow your mind. I'm serious. You'll be having some challenges around some relationships, and then all of a sudden the relationship module will be right there, and you'll be leaning in and working in real time to understand not only what your energetic frequencies are in the now, like how you're feeling now. Sometimes we get so confused about how we're feeling or what we're thinking, or like our neural pathways get crossed too. And we can really confuse ourselves, especially if you're an overthinker. Any overthinkers out there? You can definitely confuse yourself along the way. And so, Chandra, what I'm feeling is that there is an alignment happening here so that the alignment of the content will perfectly coincide with challenges that you're working on so that you can get the most out of this training. Also, though, sometimes when we false start something, it's because the level of commitment is not in the place that it needs to be yet. And that false start can give you that sense of, doggone it, I wanted to get into that. So in order to make up for that, doggone it, I wanted to get into that, sometimes we'll overcompensate a bit or we'll show up a bit more. And what I would encourage you to do is plot out the time on your calendar now, like Mondays at 10 a.m. or Saturdays at noon, whatever's going to work for you. Block it out on your calendar so that time is already reserved for your sacred training. And my students who do that as well, who block out the time, tend to get even better results than students who just do it as they have time available. Make sense? All right, so I want to bring in are there general barriers to getting started that you hear? Okay, good. Thank you I think I just hit your second question, which was just a reiteration of your first question. But yes, so that's what I feel around the timing. And I want to bring in an activation for everyone here around releasing procrastination. And there are some sacred undertakings in your life. Training in your Akashic Records is one of them. There are other sacred trainings in your life, the guides are saying, that require your highest level of commitment, energetically, emotionally, mentally, physically, because they are so sacred and they are so powerful that if you don't show up in that full level of commitment, you won't get the depth and the magic that is there for you. And sometimes if we're not ready to show up in that level of commitment yet, the consciousness of whatever the sacred activity is will hold off just a little bit. Hold off a little bit. Until we're ready to fully meet it in that space of devotion. When you show up with a level of devotion to your work, to your growth, your results are 100 times better. Okay, so let me tap back in here and see what the guides want to help us move in terms of procrastination. Okay, so there's a fear of stepping into our greatness as well. Just notice if you resonate. If you are somebody who has a big imagination, which can translate to big goals and big dreams for ourselves and for humanity, it can be scary to step into the fullness of our potentiality where we have more responsibility around executing our mission and our greatness. Typical human shit, y'all. It's hard to get past that. But you know how you do get past it? Is you begin to surround yourself with other high-level beings who are working at a high level of commitment and devotion to change their lives, to change the planet. And then you get the synergy of that group, which also really begins to increase your results. So since the guides want to work with the fear of stepping into our greatness, I'm going to use my tuning fork here. I'm just going to work in the heart chakra. The guides are guiding me to do an east-west infinity symbol on the heart here. If you want to receive this energy by proxy, you can type yes in the comments. And this is for releasing procrastination. But the heart, notice I'm in my heart here, the heart of where we are working with this activation is for you to feel the worthiness and the readiness and the courage to step into your greatness. Okay? Again, just yes if you want to receive that. Feeling that activation radiating out through the heart energy. Ooh, the guides are actually saying they want to work all of the activations through the heart space today because the magnetic field of the heart is by far the most powerful energy center we have in our body to move energy out. So I'll be sending all of the frequencies from my heart chakra today. All right, our next question, authentic living. Hi, Emily. I am assisting many people on a soul level and want to activate reciprocity in this physical plan too. Any advice, please? Yes. All right, good one, authentic living. All right, how many of you guys are helping people for free out there? How many got light workers and healers and coaches and those of you with the power to help people transform, and you're doing it for free? All right, let me tap in here. I have a feeling that this is going to be really effective and helpful for a lot of people, right? Another way that this might show up for you is if you are an artist of some kind, actor, writer, filmmaker, painter, sculptor, and you're just doing a ton of work for free. We want to activate a flow of reciprocity, which means you are able to receive as much as you are giving. And receiving can be incredibly challenging for so many of us. I actually am doing an abundance activation tonight for my students that are in the masterclass training for the learning to read the Akashic Records. And we are definitely going to be focusing on the energies of allowing, which interestingly enough, I mean, it's kind of simple when it comes to the physical body. Y'all got to relax. If your physical body is tense, there's no way you're going to be able to receive. You're not, even if we're not talking about receiving physical things, you're not going to be able to receive physical things or the relationships or the intangible things that you want if you have a tense body. Is this landing? If this is landing, type in the comments, I need to relax. For me, and you have possibly heard this story before, but one of the ways the Akashic Records has really helped me shift my life is helping me understand myself as an entrepreneur, as a CEO, as a businesswoman, which I thought I was one of these artist types. I still am one of these artist types. And I've been sharing that. I feel her up in this space in here. A lot of creative, a lot of artist types. And when I transitioned from a 20-year career as an actress in Hollywood into creating my own business and starting my own business, I didn't know what I was doing. I learned a lot intuitively. I also hired mentors that showed me the ropes. But where the Akashic Records really made night and day difference for me is that, yeah, you can have a mentor show you the ropes and show you how to do something. But if your underlying energetics are not in alignment with allowing that, with receiving that, with seeing yourself in this new identity, it's not going to work. And if you're good at seeing those things and shifting them in the quantum field, which the records will help you start to do this with ease, you get really good at shifting things. And when I first started this journey, I had maybe in my 5th year of business or so, as I'm just like chugging along, making a couple $100 a month to a couple $1,000 a month to eventually making what would be considered a decent-ish salary in this modern day landscape. I was making maybe $50,000 or $60,000 a year. And when I got really serious about increasing the impact of the Akashic Academy and up leveling my business, I had to find the areas in my life where I didn't believe I was worth that, or I didn't believe that I could do that, or my past fears caused me to have more anxiety about taking action, so I would freeze. Can anybody relate? So what the Akashic Records did for me specifically was help me to see where I had a success ceiling in my life, meaning a place where I had been hurt by success. So I damned it. I rejected it, not consciously, but on the subconscious level, if this is what success looks like, take a hike. I don't want it. And so I had to go in and remedy that and shift that. And the Akashic Records were incredibly impactful for helping me there was a spurt there where I quintupled my income. I went from that 50, 60K mark to multi 6 figures and have been going up. Well, I should say sustaining and going up from there. And by the way, I'm a college dropout. So no excuses when it comes to your education. Your education is now in the here and now and available to you. Furthermore, you have innate guides and teachers within you, ascended masters. You have access to source intelligence, your higher self, the Akashic Records. I don't care what you call it. There are no excuses anymore. Every single one of us have the ability to tap in and get a higher level of wisdom, guidance, and clarity that calls us out on our bullshit and holds us accountable to self-leadership and potentiality. And the Akashic Records are that boot camp training if you want to step into a higher level of mastery around your life and your profession and your legacy here on the planet. All right. I feel like I got sidetracked there and didn't fully answer the question. All right, give me 1 second just to anchor back in here. Okay, Peter, you got some good ones here. I want to go into Peter. I want to go into those questions, but where's the question I just had up here? I felt like we needed a little bit more. I need to relax. We got the I need to relax is there. Oh, yes, around the allowing. Yes, reciprocity. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right. So back to where I derailed off earlier. Hang on 1 second. I'm just going to button these bottom buttons because I keep seeing my undershirt underneath here. I flop it open and it's bugging me. Give me un momento. Wardrobe. That's just Vivian. That's my daughter. Okay. All right. Back to reciprocity. So for those of you who have not learned a level of relaxation in your nervous system where it feels comfortable receiving, and it may even look like receiving a compliment. Like, how good are you at receiving a compliment? When people give me a compliment, I say, and it's very conscious, and yes, it feels a little weird, thank you, I received that. Rather than dismissing which is what we can a lot of times do. So there's a way that you can check in and take your own emotional temperature on how easy it really is for you to allow. Okay, so we're going to be working with the heart chakra energy again. All right, working with heart and root right now, because what the guides are saying right now that's tripping most of you up in terms of being in a state of allowance and feeling comfortable allowing is that you don't feel safe allowing, that you've been hurt, that you've trusted someone else to care for you before, and you've had the rug pulled out from underneath you. Yes, give me a yes if that's you. Let me know I'm tapping into the right frequency here for y'all. Yes. And so we now want to associate love and worth with safety. So there's some circuitry running between the heart and the root chakra. Root governs our safety and security in this life. Type yes if you want to receive this energy. And this is going to work on your nervous system, the guides are saying. This is going to work to regulate your nervous system so that you can relax. Remember, we talked about that importance of the physical body relaxing. Oh, yes, my guides also shared with me during that massive upgrade of financial freedom that I was able to step into, that I chose and committed to, and with devotion walked the steps that my records outlined, helped me see. It didn't just land in my lap. I chose it and I was devoted to that path and I walked that path. But part of the process looked like my guide saying, Emily, you need to get massages because your body is too tense to hold the frequency of the relaxation and the safety that you're going to feel when you're making the money that makes you feel safe in life. And you don't have that template to do that right now. Is this making sense? Making sense? Type yes if it's making sense. All right. All right. My good friend Peter, let me go scroll through here and find your questions. I liked your questions. So when you're an artist, often your success relies on other people's opinions, whether it's a casting agent, record executive. It's not just based necessarily on your talent. How might the Akashic Record help one? Great question. So what's really happening, here's the first thing that the Akashic Records will help you do. It's help you see the bigger picture, which is this reality that we're all experiencing that feels so real is actually a hologram. And it's being affected and manipulated and it shifts. It's constantly shifting. It's also very reflective in this really unique way. We're all having our own unique experience, yet it's overlapped on top of each other. So it definitely feels like it's an experience that's coinciding with other people. Now, when it comes to your personal experience, okay, so let's say I'm the actress going into the casting room. Everybody in that room is going to think of me or think about me, what I tell them or project them to think about me, not on a conscious level of conversation, but through my energy field. So the records can work with artists to become so self-assured and so much in love with their own talent and choices. Peter, you'll understand this because as an actor, you'll know each actor makes different choices that they take into the room for that character. When one falls so in love with their own self-expression, we subconsciously and through the field tell other people to also fall in love with our expression. So that's one way that the Akashic Records can really help us to see the bigger picture, that it's not about manipulating that other person to make them like me. It's about liking myself and allowing that energy. That's almost like the reputation that precedes me. That's the energy that walks into the room before I do. Okay. That's how you can work on yourself. I am going to give you a little more Jedi. You want me to go a little deeper? You guys want a little more Jedi? Because there are some things that you can do to positively alter and influence somebody else's energy field. It's not manipulation, but it is working in the field on the quantum level to connect with others. And there are two different types of telepathy that you can use, which that would look like you communicating mind to mind, thought to thought, to another person who is a decision maker. And so I'm gonna mix some strategies here. I'm gonna be like a quantum assimilator. I'm gonna pull pieces from here and here and here and here and here and here. Okay, how to win friends and influence people. Amazing book. Who's read it? It's okay even if you haven't, but it is a visionary thought leader favorite here on the planet. And one of the principles in there is when we're influencing other people, we want to communicate how working with us or choosing us is actually beneficial to them. Okay, so you want to think about communicating with the casting director or the music exec or the person giving you a job, or it doesn't just have to be a Hollywood reference, right? Peter and I both happen to share timelines in the entertainment industry, so makes for an easy conversation between Peter and I. But I want this to be applicable for you whether you're in Hollywood or not. Oh, Shannon, I got another my Hollywood artistic friends here in the house. I love you, artists. But I want this to be applicable in any area of your life, okay? So when you are in a situation of being in an interview and needing to be chosen for something, you want to, first of all, realize, okay, I can have a telepathic communication, thought-to-thought communication with this field outside of physicality. So this is happening in the field, Follow me? Now, we want to pull information that we have learned about how to be impactful influencers. And that is when we are offering somebody something, we want to frame it in a way that they understand why this is good for them. So how is choosing you for the job or the role going to benefit that person? That's going to be the subject of your telepathic conversation. The other suggestion that I'm going to make when you are telepathically communicating with someone is that if you can send communication in pictures, that's best. Because we have so many thoughts happening inside of our head. You've likely heard me talk about the statistics before. The average human has between 12 and 60,000 thoughts per day. 90% are negative, 80% are the same you had yesterday, 95 to 99% are subconscious, so you don't realize you're thinking them. So if you want to get a power thought through to somebody who's got all this other bullshit going on in their mind, like, good luck. I can give you the best techniques on the planet, but filtering through somebody else's bullshit is still challenging. All right, so here's another secret hack is that you can send pictures. You can communicate in visual pictures, and those will be received more easily. Cool? All right, so we're going to do one more activation today. We're going to link the heart and the third eye, sending this transmission through. This is going to help increase your ability to have telepathic communication. Oh, I'm sorry. I wanted to describe one other type of telepathy. What I just described, that's basic telepathy, y'all. Sending the thought communication to a specific person, a specific theme of your conversation, like very specific direct thoughts, and then pictures if you can. Okay, basic telepathy. You want to up it a notch if it's somebody that you know. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, this is a technique that I'll tie back into that I pretty much glossed over all this deep healing, traumatic emotional work that I'm doing, and y'all know I usually get pretty gritty with you. I'll take it down. I'll get a little bit more gritty here with you. I split from the kid's dad in 2019, and it has been incredibly challenging for us because there's a lot of love and a lot of karma, I'll say, working through both of us working through. And because of just the sheer rawness and the pain that we've both been through, it has been incredibly challenging for us to come together and to co-parent because our old shit gets really triggered. And so I have been very specifically working on this because I've got one of my kids is now 20. For a hot second, I had 3 teenagers. I officially have 2 teenagers and a 20-year-old. And this is a really challenging time, I'm noticing, to parent them. And I really have this desire to move back into a state of coherence and connection with Mike so that we can co-parent these kids. And because there was so much pain, it's just really difficult for us to come together in that space. I started working with body heat telepathy because obviously I know this dude really well. We was married for a long time and together even longer than that in this lifetime, which I'm sure many of you can relate to. All right. So if you're wanting to begin to create healing and softening space and space for new things to happen in a relationship of somebody that you know well, you can use body heat telepathy because there is an aspect of your body that remembers more of their field and their energy connection than just, oh, I know that person. I can communicate through that telepathic chain. You don't want to do body heat with somebody you don't know because it's a little too intimate and they're going to feel like, oh God, what is that? Oh, buy me dinner first. Okay. So that's how you know when to use basic telepathy or when you can up the intimacy a notch and get even more connected in somebody's energy field. What my process of preparation for coming back into this conversation with the kid's dad has looked like has been doing the telepathy and body heat telepathy, not only between Mike and I, but on our past selves too. That was a really important part of the process. Let's see, there's one other thing that I wanted to share with you. Oh yes, for myself and my own body, trauma release yoga, somatic release yoga, specifically in the hips and heart. So any of you who are feeling inclined to work in those same areas, and first, I just want to invite you to reach out to me if you want help and support. That's the best way to affect change really quickly in your life. But if you're not in a position to have mentors, spiritual mentors, and one-on-one support in your life, and you just need to be self-trained at this time, that's why I share with you the things that were working for me were those different types of telepathy and the somatic yoga, all which was revealed to me through the Akashic Records and allowed me just to get like right in there and work. All right, so I wanted to do, let's see, one more activation. Let's just go back to this heart-mind activation that will open up our ability to have even better telepathy. Just think about a person in your life that it would be beneficial to use telepathy with right now. Beneficial to you, beneficial for them. We want the win-win. We use the highest records to unfold the highest good for ourselves and everyone connected to us. It's a little rule written in the records that if you don't use it for everybody's highest good, your ass gets kicked out. Okay? You just get bounced right out there. Zero tolerance for manipulating within the Akashic Records. All right? All right, who's had a good time here today? If you have had a good time up here in here with me, I want to encourage you, just first of all, blow up the algorithms one more time before we go. Send some love, likes, hearts across the screen. The more of us that come together in this space and the more of us that step into a higher level of self-leadership, the faster evolution and revolution and freedom happens here on the planet for everyone. I promise you it's happening. Tap into it. Catch the wave of the empowerment that's available for you to make changes in your life. Okay? Share this out if it has been helpful to you. And for those of you who are interested in learning how to read your own Akashic Records, if you're watching on StreamYard, I have posted the link. Oops, I'm going to post it one more time here. Maybe. There we go. If you are watching on another platform where you are not seeing those links pop up, you can check out Linktree, go to the Akashic Academy, go to the website, and under courses, you will find where you can enroll for that training. It is a certification training, by the way, so you will become certified in the Akashic Records and be trained to not only read your Akashic Records, but read the Akashic Records for other people, if you so choose to do that. And there's also options to work more closely with me. If you can't find the information on the website, you can always don't leave comments here, by the way. You got to send me a DM or a private message, and either myself or my team will reach out to you. Thank you all for being here. We're going to wrap up for today. I'm also going on a cruise. Friday, I will be leaving the country for a cruise to the Caribbean islands. Peter, where am I going? I'm going to Aruba, Bonaire, and Carousel. That's right. Very excited for not only the activation, the spiritual activation and the awareness activations that come when we travel, but also learning from some amazing entrepreneurs and getting to spend time with other visionaries. So I'm really excited about that, but I will miss you over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're going to run some rebroadcasts for you, and stay tuned here at the Akashic Academy if you love to travel and you want a more behind the scenes experience with me. Stay tuned to our stories here on Facebook and Instagram, and I will see you guys back at the end of January.